Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Is blogging the new form of journalism? Should bloggers be held to the same standards as the media? It's a question that was asked of me the other day, not by a journalist, but by someone who would likely consider himself a blogger. And I don't know if I'd say blogging is the new form of journalism. I think blogging is a style of writing. A blogger is, I guess, a certain type of person. They're not exactly the same, but they seem to achieve the same results. A blogger tends to write out of passion, out of an extreme interest for a topic. Should the blogger then be held to the same standards as the media? I don't know. I don't believe so. It depends on how you're measuring what a blogger is and what a journalist is, what journalism is, what blogging is, and how they relate to one another. As far as I can see, the only thing that's similar between blogging and journalism is content. They're both there to fulfill the need of producing content. But as I said, bloggers do it because they want to do it. Journalists tend to do it because they're getting paid to do it. It's their job. They likely studied journalism at a university somewhere. And how many times have you been through an experience like this? And I've had this happen many, many, many times over. I'll get a phone call from somebody who wants to include me in part of a story. And they ask me a series of questions, take up a couple hours of my time, and then use maybe only one of the things that I said. And then even then, the story doesn't seem to be accurate. And you're thinking, well, that's not right. I thought journalists were supposed to get the story right. Well, that's not always the case. Either the comments are taken out of context, the full story isn't just presented in an accurate manner. How many times have you been watching television only to watch a story about, let's say, Facebook or MySpace or something that you know, and the reporter just gets it wrong, like blatantly wrong, like you're jumping up off the couch screaming at the television, wrong, but that's a journalist. They're held accountable because it's their job. They should have gotten it right, if they're even held accountable at all. Blogging, on the other hand, and bloggers, they're doing it because they're motivated by, well, different things. As far as I can see, the only thing that's similar between journalism, at least written journalism, and blogging, as in, the written word, is the word, is content. They may achieve the same results, whether it's eyeballs, traffic, attention, but that doesn't mean they should be held accountable in the same respect. Journalists tend to work for a larger organization. Bloggers tend to be independent. Now, that isn't to say a journalist couldn't be someone for hire, and many of them are. In college, this is long before blogging was around, I had intended on fulfilling the creative writing minor prerequisites, and it came down to needing one class, and that was expository writing. Not journalism, expository writing. And I was told then, for that semester, I'd have to write about Wagner. I would have to research and compile information. I'm like, you know what? This isn't for me. I went to one class, and I was done. And because I didn't take that class, I didn't get a creative writing minor. I would not have made a good journalist. Never would have made a good journalist. Because I have to care so much about every assignment that I take, large or small. I'm a columnist in CPU magazine. It's kind of funny. Some people say, hey, did you know you were in CPU Magazine last month? Yeah, I've been in every CPU magazine from the time they started publishing it, way back in like 2001, 2002. That doesn't make me a journalist, though. I'm a columnist. I'm writing what I know. I'm not being assigned any one topic or another. I'm doing it because I care. I'm creating content because I care, not because I'm being told to do it. And I'm not saying that that's bad. The world needs journalism. The world needs journalists. The world needs as many objective viewpoints as it can handle. Bloggers aren't objective, or they tend not to be. And everybody's got a bias. Even if I sat here and said, oh no, I'm equal to everything and everything, come on. We're all biased. Even journalists who claim that they're not biased we're just biased. That's human nature. Unless you're a Vulcan, in which case you don't exist, because that's just a race from a different planet that's wrapped inside a whole nother, well, imaginary, fictional. You guys get what I'm driving at, right? I think bloggers should and need to be responsible. They need to own the words that they present, as much as journalists own the words that they present. And in many ways, the blogosphere is like this huge editorial board. And if a blogger comes out and presents something and presents it well, yes, it will get a lot of attention. And it may be validated, it may not be validated. I'm sure if I come out and I present these ideas as my own, which they are, I'm owning these ideas, some people are going to agree and some people are going to disagree. Some people say, no, bloggers need to be held to the same standards as the media. Well, how do you define the media? I'm as much the media as anybody is on the internet. I've got a YouTube account. I've got my own blog. I'm on Google, just like everybody else out there. So what makes me different? I'm me. That's it. There's only one me, and I realize you may be rejoicing because of that. I do my best to hold myself to a good degree of standards. There are things that I won't do. I'm opinionated strongly, but I'm never going to say I am taking a completely objective point of view on any particular matter. In fact, if anything, I do play devil's advocate quite frequently. It's funny, some people will sit there and say that I'm too much one way, and the same group of in the same group of people, there will be other individuals who say, well, he's completely the other way. No matter what you say, people are going to see in your content what they want to see, not necessarily what you've done. They project themselves onto the things that you do. So blogging isn't necessarily the new form of journalism. It's just a new form of distributing content. It's a new way to get your personal voice out to the masses. It is a part of mass media. It's not a replacement for. It's an augmentation of. You have to start thinking about content differently. It's not just that the video comes in through your television, or if it comes in through the internet. If it's video, if it's content that you enjoy, if it's something that just seems to hit home with you, well, then what's the difference? Who gave it to you? Where it came from? If it's good, if you believe it's good, if there's some value, or you perceive some value in that content, whether it was delivered by a blogger or a journalist, or maybe a journalist who is a blogger, or a blogger who's a journalist. I mean, it's a label at that point. But I go back to saying that bloggers write and create out of passion, and journalists tend to write or create for a paycheck. There are journalists out there who don't take a paycheck, in which case I wonder how they're getting paid. And if they're getting paid for producing journalism on the web, well, does that make them a blogger? Well, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I believe a journalist at its core needs to be objective And bloggers at their core are very, very not objective. I don't know. I'm curious to know what you guys think. I'm certainly interested in this, with my degree being in English education. My favorite class in college was personal voice and essay, which, if it was done this year, would likely be a class that was titled blogging. That's what it is, personal voice and essay. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. My email address is chris@pirillo.com. You're also welcome to, of course, leave a comment, a video comment, or a text one, however you want to do it. I'd really be interested in hearing back, and I'm not trying to slight journalists at all. And I realize it may sound that way, but, I mean, tell me I'm wrong. Just tell me I'm wrong and how. And I'll be interested in continuing the dialogue with you. I'm open to it, totally. My email address, chris@pirillo.com. And my blog is at chris.pirillo.com. That's right, it's not a journal, it's a blog. And you never really know what I'm going to be doing in my live video feed, because I've got it going like pretty much 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we've got this chat room with a vibrant bunch of people who like talking about technology and subjects like these. This is very much technology. It's transforming mass communication. I love it. I'm right there on the bleeding edge. I'm so much on the bleeding edge, I have paper cuts all over my body, and it hurts. Anyway, you're free to stop by and say hello. We're waiting for you. So what are you waiting for? We're at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.